Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we'll model this back panel. First thing I want to do is show you the curves that I used to create it. The issue here is when you work with NURBS, it's kind of hard to make shapes like this unless you create some of the curves that are missing in the initial shape. So when you first look at the shape, it's pretty round, but you can isolate. There's a distinct side here, a top, and there's a back. But the back also curves into the top, so it's very smooth. So we need to figure out how to make that shape. We also need to make this headlight shape first. And the way I did that is I made an initial curve. There you can see that's this, and then that's the curve that this is gonna follow. All right, so first we need to make this shape here, so we'll just do a simple loft. Let's look at the settings for the loft here. NURBS, let's go straight to polygons, apply, and then in the tessellate options we can increase or decrease. And I'm not sure how many I'm going to need this way, so I'll just add a little more than what I need. So this shape is done. You can hide it for now. Now we need to make the main panels. And what I did here is I duplicated this curve and I also split it. So I split it where I think the top and bottom can separate. And I made an edge loop from the bottom here and put it here. And then try to get rid of this. And I tried to smooth this curve out to match this one. So this curve needs to have good tangency going from the top view and from the side view. From the back, it doesn't have good tangency, but we'll see. And you can see it kind of pinches there. So what I'm also hoping for is that because we have this headlight shape here, it'll hide that some of that pinching, and we can work around that. Alright, now that I have all my shapes, let me hide the in progress stuff. And the curves that we'll need here is, so this and this one are broken, so we'll need to attach them. So I'll need this curve, this one, that, and that. And when I make my panels, what I like to do is instead of using the curves that are in my curves group, I duplicate them and I press Shift P to unparent them. That way, what I can do is I can hide my curves layer, and this will show me just these curves here. Now what I need to do is I need to combine this, because we need to have this curve match this one. We have a break here. So just select both curves, go to curves, and then I'm going to open attach, because there's a trick to attach these curves. Because if the curve direction is reversed on one of the curves, you don't know which end is going to attach, because it doesn't care about where it's touching. You can attach the top curve to the bottom, and then the curve will make a loop. But you can force it. Select one, go to curve point, and left click and drag a curve to the point where you want to connect. So just drag all the way to the bottom. Right click, curve point, then hold shift, and then drag up like that. So you're basically telling Maya that you want to use this curve and connect there, and this curve connect there. And we'll do a let's see, I'm going to keep originals and click insert knot and just see what's going to happen and see if my curve changed. And you see how it changed here? That's not good. So let's undo that and let's try connect. Now it's the same, but there's going to be more points in here. That's okay. So I'm going to undo it, turn off keep originals, and hit apply again. So now it's connected. I'm going to clear history, Shift Alt D, and now the problem is this curve and this one, they don't match, because this one has so many vertices here and this one has very few. So we need to rebuild it. So I'm going to select it, go to curves menu, click option for rebuild, keep original on again, and we need to have basically a curve with just 2 edit points in the middle. So I don't know if that's right. Let's keep original off. Okay, so 4 is too many. See, we have 3. So we need 3 here. Okay, and now let's turn keep original on. I turn keep original on before I finish, so I can see if it matches my original curve, and you can see it matches. Undo, turn keep original off, hit apply, and now we have this curve, and you can see it should match this one. Yep. The other thing is, if I select both curves, press F9, that's going to take me into curve selection. If you don't see vertices, just turn on and off the vertex selection. You can see that these curves, the U and the square on the bottom, so that's the curve direction, that's where the curve starts. This one, it's reversed, so I just need to select this one, go to curves and click reverse direction. Now you can see the U is on the bottom, and you can check it for all the rest of the curves. It's not completely necessary, but it's just, you may have issues, and when you're doing lofts and stuff, or bi-rails, this will just make sure you don't have any issues. You can see the U is here and that U is over there. This one's here, so we just need to select this one and reverse this direction. Okay, let's check where this one is. The U is down there. U. Okay, so these are all good. You can select all of them and just press F9 and see if they all have good directions. Yep. Right, let's do some bi-rails. Surfaces, bi-rail, bi-rail 2 is what we need here. I'm going to go straight to polygons, hit apply. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a pretty good shape. And then you have to hide it, because if you don't hide it when you do the next bi-rail, when you try to select this curve, you'll also select the edge on that geometry as well, which we don't want. Okay, bi-rail again. If we unhide the other one, we can see it's pretty smooth except when it gets there, which I'm hoping that will be hidden by the headlight. And you can see none of them match, and that's because I'm using tessellate in 3D. So I'm going to change this to isoparm, and this one per number of spans of isoparm. Now we can reduce the number. So you need to use 1 as like your guide. So let's say I'm going to use this one first, figure out the divisions. So the thing that's helpful to know here is that the more you have, the smoother the initial shape is, but harder it's going to be later to make it the overall shape smooth. So you want to have a balance of detail, but also not too dense so that it's going to be too hard to smooth out the whole shape. So that's going to be fine. Then select this one and match the edge loops here. This is too many. Combine, merge vertices, and then soften edge to see the shape. Let's see. So I have two-sided lighting on. So what's happening here is that this geometry is reversed. So you can go to mesh display and click conform. And that's going to flip it. And if we isolate just that and turn off wireframe, we can see the shape. So the important parts are here, and that's smooth, and here. This is not important because this is where we're going to bring back this shape, and then we need to combine this and this together. Clear history. I don't need these curves anymore, so I'm going to delete them because I only use them to create the shape. I have the other curves in here, so that's good. So now what I also need to do is select this here and click extrude. Scale it slightly. And we only need these. So remove that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and match these right here to these edge loops. Okay, so that's good. Now we need to Boolean this. So the problem that's going to be for us is this, because you can't Boolean when two edges are touching like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this geometry here, these edges, extrude them, and just do that. Push them in a little bit. And then extrude this like that. That way we don't have any edges penetrating. But here is an issue as well. So this I'm going to extrude and just push this out like that. Okay. Now, if I sometimes when I work here, I realize that I need to change my edge flow. Now, if I don't save this geometry, I'm not going to have this to fix later. So what you can do is you can duplicate it and then hide it. And then what I do is I take these hidden objects and put them in my reference. That way, if I ever need to come back and fix something, I'll have that geometry there, the original geometry. Now we can make a Boolean union like that, clear history, and then we can delete this extra geometry. And you can see this kind of connected, so I can delete this. And what was that? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, let's delete that. Okay, so that's a little what's happening here is we have this face that's this really weird face here. So I'm going to use multi-cut tool and just connect. Let's see. We'll do that. Same issue here. Delete this face. And I'm going to do a merge. It's going to just merge any vertices that we have kind of floating. And you can see we have this really bad connections here. We need to clean this up. We're missing a vertex here, no big deal. This happens to me sometimes, so we just add a vertex here, because we have our original curves, we can just snap it there and hide. Okay. So this edge is where we made the connection between the two surfaces. What we can do is we can try edit edge flow, see if that fixes it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So it's trial and error. And this one too. Okay, good enough. You can see it's just smoothed it out a little bit. Okay. The next step is we need to clean this up. And the way I like to approach this is I make a loop around this mess. So I'm going to go in here. Connect here. That's an easy connection to make. I'm going to go and look over here. Okay, so that's a little messy. Delete this. I'm going to make connection here. Now we can do this. Delete that. From here over there. Okay. Now, so here's the thing. you can see how these loops are going this way and then they get cut on diagonal, and then this one is going on diagonal this way. So the easiest way to fix this is to kind of forget there's a division here and then continue these loops all the way down, and then these loops down as well. Now what that's going to let us do also is remove every other edge loop here, or kind of reduce the numbers another way. So first I'm going to select, we're going to go from here and try to kind of split the difference. See, like that. But we need to keep this curvature. So you can't just go and delete edges. You need to first redraw them, and then we can start deleting. And then we need to close this off. So I'm going to go from here. We'll connect some of them. Okay, that's good. All right, from the top view, I'm just going to start finding these loops like this, kind of splitting. I want to delete some of these diagonals, and if I just double click, it's going to select the whole edge. So I'm going to go along this new edge and just delete any of the diagonals that are trying to cross, like this. And I'm just pressing delete, not control delete. I want to keep the vertices just in case the shape's not going to be right. Okay, now you can see we can delete this one, and that's what we're going for. We have these vertices here, but once we delete them, this will smooth out. But that's the idea. See how we're drawing it? So I'm going to go and go over here. Not sure what to do here yet, so I'm gonna kind of ignore it for now. But I can delete these guys. If I double click all of these, I can delete them, but keep the vertices. That's gonna keep the curvature. I'm going to delete. Now I can't double click this edge because there's so many vertices in here that it's not going to complete. So I'm just going to select just the edge in the middle here. It's no big deal. It's an easy selection. Delete. And you can see our edge flow starting to look pretty good. Okay, so this is going to be an issue because these loops, they can't go at diagonal like this. So we need to reroute them a little bit. So I'm going to use insert edge loop tool again, or sorry, the multi-cut tool. I'm going to go over like this. Just connect that. That way it just deletes, gets rid of some of this complication here. And just redirect this one a little bit so it's not in the way, so it doesn't get so tight over there. Okay. So now, the same thing we did up here, we need to do down here. Alright, so I think now we can delete all of the vertices, the extra ones, except these corners, and so that we can see where we're at. Delete, soften edge. Okay, so we have an issue here. Extra stuff here. Okay. But otherwise, you can see it's starting to look good, except see this problem here. That's no big deal. We'll fix that. We'll fix this. We just need to get the edge flow going properly here. So the options are to get rid of an edge loop and then try and fill in with other edges. Right, like if we took this one. So I'm gonna actually start at the top here. So if I take this loop, click slide edge tool, I can slide that down, then select this one, press G, that's just going to redo the last command. I can slide this one down, then select this loop, press G, slide that down here, like in the middle between here and here. And then this one, we can slide up to kind of meet it. And then we can delete this edge loop. Alright, so now let's use edit edge flow. Select an edge. Let's see. Shift right click, click edit edge flow. It's gonna space them out. This doesn't always work well, so we'll have to do this manually, but that's alright. Oops. Yeah, see, it's messing up over there. Yep. Okay. So to smooth out this, the way we're going to do it is, what I do is I look at each loop and then I smooth it in all the views. I'll look from the side view. And you can select the loop and isolate it. You can see there's our issue. It's this dip. So you can see just by smoothing out those curves, the lumps went away. Still got a couple, means we still have some lumps. Just select the curves. There they are. This panel is done. Now we can just select this here, extrude, scale it in, add a loop here, and one here. And then we'll add a headlight, and that's it. Okay, got a little bit of a lump here. So another thing you can do to kind of help with these edge loops is, if it's hard for you to kind of visualize where the vertices need to be, what you can do is use curves. So if I select the EP curve tool, I can click here and then click here, just holding V. It's going to make a curve. I can then, from the side view, try and match this curve to the overall shape. And you can see I'm only using two vertices here to do it. So the curve itself is going to be smooth. Press 3 to smooth the curve even more. And then from the top view, you can do the same. I'm going to match like this. Now you can do this with all of the curves, and then the option is you can use that. Once you make all these curves, you can just loft between them and rebuild that way. And I do work that way sometimes. I just wanted to show you how to do it without using those curves. But I made those curves when I was creating this mesh because it's pretty complicated. So I have these curves here that I use as a guide for fixing the edge loops. I have these as well. These were actually on the surface, and I re-lofted using those. And then I have these, and these were just as a guide for recreating the shape. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's this one ran a little bit long, and but there's a lot of complicated geometry here. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.